Hi everyone, back again with another question. I'm going to get right into it. This question is about polymono relationships. So before I get into that, I kind of just want to explain really quickly what that means. Um, when I say poly, I mean polyamorous. It's a form of non-monogamy, meaning you believe you can love more than one person, that you can have and maintain more than one romantic or sexual relationship with everyone being knowledgeable and consenting, of course, in an ethical way. And of course, being monogamous, self-explanatory, you believe you are just in a relationship with one person. Um, so a polymono relationship, meaning one person in the relationship is poly and the other person is monogamous. And I can hear you saying, what? You can do that? Is that a thing? Can people actually make that work? The answer is yes. Although polymono relationships are definitely one of the more difficult relationship dynamics. So it is difficult, but it can work. Let me give you the question that I have here. How do you start learning about poly when you always thought you were monogamous, but are now in a poly/mono relationship? That's the question I have here. The thing that caught my attention, I think, most in that question, the way it was worded, is when you always thought you were monogamous, but are now in a polymono relationship. That doesn't mean that you're not monogamous. You can be monogamous and be in a polymono relationship. That doesn't make you not monogamous. But I think you just need to ask yourself what being monogamous means to you. Um, does being monogamous mean that you are simply not interested in having more than one partner? Or does monogamous for you mean that you want it to be just you and one other person? There's a difference there, and I think it's a very important distinction as to whether or not you can make it work. If you're simply just not interested in being with other people, but you're okay with your partner dating others, that's where that can work. If you are wanting it to be just you and just one other person, that's where I think there can be some definite issues. Do not agree to a relationship with intentions of changing the other person. So if you are monogamous, entering this relationship, don't do so with intentions to make the other person monogamous. And it goes the other way. If you are poly and you're in a relationship with a monogamous person, don't enter that relationship with intention of making that person poly. You must accept, love, and respect your partner. That is essential to any relationship working. For any relationship, but particularly for a poly-mono relationship, there needs to be a lot of communication and a lot of checking in with each other and with the relationship, and there needs to be transparency. For the monogamous people, I have a question for you. Are you getting what you need in the relationship? That's really all you need to know. For the monogamous people that maybe don't understand being in a relationship with somebody that wants to be with other people or that is with other people, this needs to be said. You are enough. You are enough. I feel like there's this very monogamous mindset that if you have a partner that is with other people, that means that you're not enough. And that's simply not true. You are enough. I have two kids, okay, more than one, and I like to explain this being poly to other people sometimes using this example. I didn't have, yes, I'm doing a video right now. Can this wait? I didn't have a second child because the first one wasn't enough. I just wanted another child. And when I had that second child, it certainly didn't mean that I loved the first one any less. I just also had another child that I loved more than I could explain. I love them, I think, in different ways, but I don't love one more than another. There's not one child that isn't enough. My first child is enough. My second child is enough. I just wanted more than one child, and there comes the mindset of love isn't divided. Love is multiplied. There's not a pie of love that you have to split up all your pieces and divvy them up. You can make more pies. Though that is a common saying in the poly world, there's usually an added title of, yeah, but time isn't multiplied. Time, unfortunately, has to be divided. And that's why Google Calendar is amazing. Okay, for the poly partner in this dynamic, I say this: have patience and be attentive to your partner's feelings and needs. As a poly partner with a monogamous partner, you are going to need to give a little bit of extra patience and really be checking in on them and going that slight extra mile to make sure that things are okay, because it's difficult for a monogamous person. It can be difficult for a monogamous person to try to understand and adjust to this new dynamic. Resources. Y'all know I love resources. And I mean, part of the question was, how do you start learning about? And so I gave just a tiny bit of information there, but I do want to pass you on to some resources because there's great resources out there. For those of you who love to read, even if you don't love to read, this is a great read. Matter of fact, when I read it, I was thinking, this isn't just for poly people. I think everyone should read this book because it's just, a lot of it is how to have healthy relationships and how to be healthy to yourself, figure out what your needs are. I could talk forever about this book. I do love it. I hope, is this backwards? It's called More Than Two, and it's by Franklin Vo and Eve Rickert. I've met them. They're both great humans. Matter of fact, look, mine was signed. Fancy. But seriously, this is a really great book. I definitely recommend it. And then I would also encourage you to check out just local groups. If you can look on Facebook or FetLife, maybe try Googling something. But there are definitely poly groups, and polymono relationships do get discussed. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you might be able to find some kind of group in your local community that might be related to specifically polymono relationships, but those aren't as common of a relationship dynamic. So I would definitely stick to poly groups because as it's not really common, it's definitely not uncommon. You'll find it, but it does take a little bit of looking. Check your local communities for these groups. Anyways, that's what I have for you tonight. If you want to check out more, you can always check out my website, alternativesexuality.ca. You can tweet me at the Reddest of Rob. You can find me on FetLife under Redrobin. You can comment any questions you have, whether they're follow-up questions to this video or new questions for future videos. That would be awesome. And hope you have a good night.